Today I will talk a little bit about our strategy, what is our main service at the university, what we are running, and finally I give you also some ideas how the ebook strategy is working. So first of all, our department has a kind of statement. The statement is the department is a service center, and so for all non-profit internal and external questions regarding e-learning at the university, and since 2006, whereas the focus is on the possibilities of network-based, communication-guided teaching and learning processes. So anything what is about learning, teaching, and we need some kind of technology is as a part of my department. And we have talking always about the so-called overall picture. What does it mean, an overall picture? But the main question is, what are our main services and what do we provide to our students as well as our staff? And here you can see the main services on the left. Also, there is a so-called TUX-DT. This is a kind of learning management system, and this Teach Center is a learning management system, of course, for all institutes, for all teachers, and for all students. And it is a program at the university, so it's an in-kind program, and we are not using Moodle, for example. We have also our own system here, and a little bit later on I will also talk about how big or what we are currently serving. Then we have a second big system. It's nearly the same. It's called iMove, and this system is for the newest trend. It's for massive open online courses. So that means that we have open courses we are providing to the world, and this is the second platform where we can do this stuff. In the middle you see the PLE. The PLE is the personal learning environment. I will also talk a little bit later on why we need such a system. It's more or less for holding the learning objects repository, give the students the possibility to make their own environment. Then we have a very big recording service. That means that we make recording of our lectures, talks, or whatever. This is stored at this server. And we can also do kind of live streaming if teachers will need it or whatever. And then we have this ebook service, which is also part of this talk. On the right side, you see there are two big another things. There is the Learning Lab. The Learning Lab is holds all the services or all the tools we also provide to teachers who are not a part of the main service. For example, we have polling services, or we can do kind of assessments or something like that. And we have some tools there that is just more research. It means students or in projects we are doing different kinds of tools or whatever, and this is also part of the Learning Lab. And then we have, of course, yeah, you have a question.
Thank you, Martin. Could you allow me a minute just to summarize that, so just to make sure we got the concept in Russian, right? Just a minute. Мартин из Технического университета Граца, он представляет факультет компьютерных технологий и также работает в исследовательско-научном центре контактного обучения в университете техническом университете за обучение с помощью компьютерных, информационно-компьютерных технологий, все программы, все инновации, этот отдел ответственен за всю эту часть в университете. И сегодня он представляет нам стратегию использования информационно-компьютерных технологий в обучении в техническом университете Грац. И вот здесь вы видите на этом слайде структуру и, скажем, основные блоки системные, которые у них существуют. Значит, это общая система управления процессом обучения, это система управления массовыми онлайн-курсами, система для личного самоуправления обучением, ну и, скажем, другие внешние системы, которые, например, организуют оценку, знаний, способностей, ну и другие. Right, we're back.
Okay, then I can go to the next slide. The next slide shows, for example, the picture of the different systems. So we have not only learning management, we have not only e-learning, but there is much more. So you see the blue thing, that is our administration system. And our administration system is called Campus Online, for example, and I will give also some hints later on. Then in the middle you have this learning management system, what's called Teach Center, and we have, for example, also a kind of global sphere where students can blogging or doing something like that. And these systems are only are completely different systems and are only connected via, for example, APIs or HTTP protocols or a kind of ALDA. That means they are connected over the end users, but they are completely differentiated, and we have no problem if one system, for example, did not work, then the other systems are not affected, for example. And then you see also the World Wide Web. You maybe know there are many good programs outside, I don't know, Flickr, YouTube, Google Docs, Wikipedia, or whatever. And as our students as well as teachers begin to integrate this stuff also to the learning management system, because maybe one teacher said, we like to share all our photos we are sitting in the architecture course on Flickr, or for example, we like to tweet about the lecture, and then we have to integrate all these things also in the learning management system. And that we can do, for example, with APIs, HTTP protocols, or for example, with it. And that means that the learning management system is the kind of center of all these digital learning activities. And then we have the next step, that is with the multiple devices. So that means currently about 20% of my students, of course, as well as teachers, are coming with their tablets, or each of our students has smartphones. And they have all this mobile internet and like to connect, of course, also with all the system, and would like to read on the move, for example, what is about the lecture tomorrow and something like that. So it's a very big effort for us also to serve all this World Wide Web initiatives. We have to serve different multiple devices, and then we have to allow all the students as well as teachers to get also to the appropriate stuff. Would you like to translate it, or?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'll put that into Russian then. Yeah, thank you. Здесь вы видите структуру основных системных блоков использования информационно-компьютерных технологий. Помимо каких-то систем управления, системы использования блогов для личного пространства обучения и основной системы управления обучением, вы видите здесь взаимодействие. Основная задача и основная цель стратегии использования информационно-компьютерных технологий в университете, техническом университете Граца, это сделать обучение с их помощью доступным на любом устройстве, в любое время, любому обучающемуся, будь то с помощью телефона, компьютера, холодильника, телевизора, чего угодно. Все, где такая возможность предусмотрена. Right.
Okay, thank you. And the next slide is about the personal learning environment. The personal learning environment has the idea to connect the different services of the university. For example, we have not only a campus management system, we have podcasting system, different servers for mathematical tools and whatever. And we have the World Wide Web. And now the student should be able to make his personal environment to say, okay, I would like to have my Facebook account as well as my emails, for example, with I don't know, the podcasting of this lecture, for example. And to combine all this stuff, we have also this personal learning environment with the idea to give maybe a little kind of apps to the students. So you can imagine that, for example, there are different widgets called apps, and then I can say I would like to have Facebook, I would like to have mail, I would like to have my podcast on my personal desktop, for example. That is the idea of the personal learning environment, means personally to the students, it's not to the lecturers.
Все части системы, которые вы видели на предыдущих схемах, они представлены здесь, на этой схеме, с точки зрения доступности каждому обучающемуся. То есть пользователями являются, в общем-то, все участвующие в образовательном процессе. И все это, все эти составляющие блоки можно назвать пространством обучения, индивидуальным пространством обучения. Martin?
Thank you. Then I give you a short idea what is the campus online management system. That is not the learning management system. This is the campus management system, as you maybe the blue box of the first picture. And this tool serves, for example, about inquiry of the teaching regarding current, past, or future academic year. So there is all lectures placed. The students can say, I like to book this lecture this year, I like to book this lecture, and then we make the login to the lecture, for example. We have different tasks. We have a kind of digital business task for students as well as the teachers. We can serve our rooms there. We have also interfaces to the SAP system or something like that. So this system is the core system of the whole university, and this system serves as a campus administration system and has to do all the stuff around the university for the staff as well as for the students without a special knowledge about what is happening in the lecture. But I can say, okay, I like to book this lecture, I like to make the assessment for the lecture, and I get in the end also my mark of the lecture from the system, all the administration stuff.
Основу всей системы составляет программное обеспечение, разработанное уже много лет назад, между прочим, нашим соотечественникам в сотрудничестве с этим вузом. Система управления программами обучения, графиком, обучения лекциями, расписанием лекций, практических занятий. И эта система, скажем, является информационным справочником, фондом знаний образовательных программ, и решает она совершенно разные задачи, которые вы здесь можете видеть.
The second system, the second big one, as I told you, was the learning management system. Yeah? And the learning management system is called Teach Center. And the Teach Center, for example, is similar, for example, to a system like Moodle, has blackboards, course administration, data content and upload areas, learning and teaching apps, forums, FAQs, chat, blogs, whatever, what every teacher needs for his digital learning processes, a user learner management system, of course, integration of third-party applications. Sometimes we like to approve programming and so on. Information, goodies column is on the side, the right side, and we have more or less 200 several apps and special apps each teacher needs for his lecture at the university. And in the next slide, for example, you see that the big overview. This is also each lecture, if the teacher would like to have it, get such an surface for his lecture. I go back to this slide, you can translate it a little bit better.
Непосредственно другим блоком системы является блок управления тем материалом и подачи, способов подачи материала на занятиях, на лекциях, и он включает в себя функции управления как и досками электронными, и какими-то образовательными ресурсами, и форум, чатом, всеми необходимыми программными средствами для организации общения и обучения непосредственно уже на лекционных, например, занятиях и занятиях другого типа.
Okay. That you get an idea how the Teach Center, how big is such a system for a university. For example, we have currently more than 30% of all lectures online. That means more than 1,500 courses. We have involved all faculties, especially of the bachelor program, because of course there are a huge amount of students. So we have of course also lectures with 2, 3, 4, up to 500 students. We have more than 15,000 users at the system, and a typical online day, for example, today we have about 300 to 400 students are working in parallel on the system. And here you can see, for example, the user activity over the week, and you see we have mostly on Monday or Tuesday about 500 students online in parallel, and we have also on Saturday, who is the lowest being here, about 200 students online. So that means that also our service is also running on the weekend. And that you see, for example, also the growing number of courses. We started in 2007, and that is the line of the growing number of courses. The teachers are getting more and more involved by the system.
Обратите внимание на предыдущий график, ну, мы к нему еще вернемся, он отражал тенденцию увеличения количества курсов, которые они предлагают онлайн, и студентов, взаимодействующих с этими курсами. В настоящий момент более 30% всех лекционных занятий проводятся в режиме онлайн, и это включает в себя 1500 разных курсов, занятий, лекций и, скажем, материала другого типа обучения.
Okay, thank you. And the last part of my talk is about the e-books, because we are just seeing that there's a growing number of our students, for example, own an e-reader, and about 15% of our students, about 20% of our students own an own tablet PC, and they begin to ask where are the digital materials for them. And also my teachers are asking how we can do e-books, for example, to enhance our lecture. And we have a different kind of strategy. E-books, we have two different things. The first one is we have programmed and little small information system where we can produce e-books. That we can say, okay, the teacher just produce our e-book. It's called the ABC Manager. And if we have such an ABC e-book, then we can upload it directly to the learning management system. And there we can provide it to a special course, and then the students get the e-book for the course. But we would also be able not only to provide it for the learning management system, we can also provide it classic or traditional as CD, but we can also make an HTML or an EPUB output. And that means that we can serve any device if the ebook, for example, has been done with the ABC Manager. And so that means one source, and we have different output formats, and that was the idea to begin the strategy on ebooks at the university.
Электронная система обучения в университете предусматривает возможность контролировать, мониторить работу студентов с системой и также позволяет определить, какие же средства коммуникации студенты чаще используют. Ну, это около 50% всех студентов используют iPad, смартфон, ладонники, ну вот эти все инструменты. И, соответственно, был сделан вывод несколько лет назад о том, что нужно обеспечить такое предоставление материала, которое будет доступно на всех этих устройствах и будет комфортно просматриваться. Поэтому была разработана специальный инструмент, который потом был внедрен уже в общую систему, называется ABC Manager. Это инструмент управления электронными книгами, автоматическое создание этих книг, инструмент насыщения общей базы знаний учебными материалами, и в том числе при насыщении общей учебной базы эти материалы становятся доступны и в других элементах системы, в системе обучения, в системе познания и в других. И, значит, этот инструмент позволяет автоматически формировать электронные книги согласно определенным критериям. Ну, сейчас нам расскажут.
Okay, thank you. And now I have only some screenshots with me for the ABC Manager. You have also the URL ebook.graz.at, where you can test it, for example, for free. And there you can make a web system. And we have the following ideas. Our idea is that we have so-called pools of different kind of slides, and the slides of the content of the lecture, for example. and the teacher can produce slide with a slide in HTML. He can write like Word or something like Microsoft Office product, and can integrate all things. That means he can integrate also videos, he can integrate learning objects, he can integrate pictures or whatever, and he makes screen over screen. And afterwards you have all the screen in just one pool, and then you can say, okay, I would like to have to this and this screen to one book. And then he generates the book of this kind of slide. And that was the main idea, to say, okay, I have the slides from a lecture. You see, for example, in the screen, you can only use it like PowerPoint in the lecture, and can present your material, and the students can also get this in an EPUB format, or they can get it in HTML format, or you can simply print it in a PDF format. And of course, if you structure your lecture content in such a way, you begin to think very flexible about it. For example, you can exchange just on screen and generate a new book. And for example, on the next slide, we also see how the presenter looks like, for example. So that would be maybe how you can present your ebook also in the lecture hall. And therefore, it doesn't matter if it is a PDF or an HTML or whatever. So one source, many outputs. That's the main idea.
При насыщении общего фонда знаний новыми материалами, новыми обучающими ресурсами применяется определенная система категоризации этих ресурсов по типам деятельности, ну, и по другим критериям. Далее, для каждого занятия, например, педагогом, такой преподавателем, подбирается из общей системы, из общей базы тот материал, который он будет использовать на конкретной какой-то лекции. Столько, сколько успевает материала использовать преподаватель, автоматически формируется в электронную книгу. Студенты могут получить как этот вариант электронной книги с любого устройства, так и расширенный вариант электронной книги с дополнительным материалом, который способствует пониманию основного лекционного материала. Ну и есть другие типы обучающих материалов, представленных в книгах. Вот здесь на этом слайде вы можете видеть окончательное представление, то есть как выглядит страница, например, электронной книги. А формат может быть совершенно любой, я имею в виду электронный формат, для любого устройства. There we go, Martin. Back to you.
Okay. That is more or less the last slide. The overall strategy of our e-learning strategies, we focus on that every system is strong in their special topic, and we would like to embed, to connect, or complementing each other system we have in use. So that the idea is not to reproduce all the things for itself. So to think about what is the strength of this system, and then we take this and maybe we just embed the content and we maybe remix it and we present it in a new way to the student. That is also the overall strategy. It's also the end of my talk, and I have, if there is question, please ask me, but you can also contact me via the email address and also via the blog. Thank you.
Как видите, основная стратегия использования информационно-компьютерных технологий в этом университете заключается в том, чтобы использовать критерии включения, взаимодействия и дополнения каждого блока друг другом. Это основная задача. Вы можете познакомиться со всеми этими ресурсами ближе по ссылкам, которые представлены в презентации, в статье, и потом все эти материалы появятся в интернете, в общем доступе. Доступ к некоторым ресурсам, к некоторым блокам открыт и для, возможно, разработчиков идеи и стратегии использования информационно-компьютерных технологий в нашем университете, либо в других, будет интересно познакомиться непосредственно вживую с рабочей системой, доступной нам сейчас. Right. И большое спасибо за возможность, Мартин еще раз выражает свою благодарность за то, что смог выступить здесь, представить свой доклад, поделиться стратегией в своем вузе. И надеемся, что мы возьмем что-то на вооружение и предложим потом свои соображения. Right. Thank you, Martin. Thank you very much. We are just looking for the questions, and if there are any. Если есть вопросы у вас, пожалуйста. You can ask. I don't think so. It's right. Martin, this is the question from Marco Guidi, the University of Pisa. The question is about the ABC Manager, about the workload of teachers and academic staff, professors to populate the B part of the ABC Manager.
Yes, so the workload for the ABC Manager is not more than just like writing in Word, because it's an editor, and you just have to write in the editor, and we are generating automatically HTML in the background. So the teacher needs just the same time as they would write their lecture things in Word or whatever. And of course, this needs time. That is also a crucial factor of all this stuff, because learning content needs time to make it, but it's not more time as usual tools.
Thank you, Martin. Другие вопросы? Right, another question come in. Martin, this one is from the director of the Continuing Education Institute, Graz Institute, Republic of Belarus. The question is about the copyrights. If there are any legal issues connected to copywriting of e-booking, and if any, if there are the what is the payment, or how do you incentively motivate the academic staff to build up the material for the books?
Yes, it is a big issue, and as you may maybe know, that's a very big issue in the Middle European states, because we have a very strict copyright usually. And the thing is that I'm a kind of priest to say, okay, we have to think about the copyright, and we have to think about what you can do in your stuff, in your lecture content and whatnot. And my main idea is to go with the teachers to provide open educational resources to say, okay, we have to provide lecture content which is copyright free, and we are allowed to present, because that is not a problem of the digital material, it's a problem in general, because we wasn't also not allowed to give the copies away of the normal paper, as we have done maybe in the years before. That is a big issue, but it's on the side of the teachers. So I cannot just provide tools. I can say what is allowed and what is not. But the lecture content is a thing of the teachers, and they have to say, okay, this is allowed, and I can have the copyright or whatever. But that is a big issue. This is another talk for a long time. And I do in workshops, for example, at the university, and giving us the hints how we can improve the situation. And that we have maybe, we cannot take this picture from this book, maybe we have to draw it new or whatever.
Это большой, важный вопрос, несомненно, и один, и первый, и второй. Что касается авторских прав, то здесь проводится такая политика честной игры, когда с преподавателем по умолчанию есть договоренность не использовать, например, чужие материалы какие-то, или точнее иметь в виду, если на материалы, которые они используют, есть какие-то ограничения. Ну а с точки зрения представления уже выходных электронных книг, например, то опять же есть договоренность внутривузовская не учитывать авторское право. Эти книги находятся в свободном доступе для студентов, для преподавателей. И в любом случае с каждой лекцией, с каждым последующим занятием содержание книги меняется, и предыдущее уже устаревает. Поэтому таким образом, например, решается эта проблема. Ну а что касается мотивации, то эта научно-исследовательская группа проводит семинары для преподавателей, индивидуальное обучение. То есть работа направлена в массы и непосредственно с преподавателями и профессорами. It's just nothing that some memories from our trip to Technical University in December. We met Christina Stoppler-Pant, and one of the most important issues we had to raise was the motivation of students and of teachers actually, and that was a very big issue. We couldn't find the exact answer, so it's always a big issue. It's always like that. Right.
Yes, it is of course a big issue, the acceptance of teachers and students. My idea was that we give them a system, and we just not to begin to make workshops for all. We just ask which of you teachers would like to work with us, and if they come to us, we just implement the whole course for the teachers. And then they like the thing. Yeah, they have a completely online course, it's running smoothly, they have no problems, and they just see that it is working fine, and it helps them for the daily work. And then just the next teacher comes and sees that the next teacher is, the first teacher is running very good with the system, and also asks, can we just use the system? And that was our approach to say, okay, we are bringing the system step by step to the teachers. And we are doing this after 7 years in the complete same way. So I have no real workshops, I have something. If a teacher comes to me and say, hey, I would like to do it, then we provide him the whole course and we assist him as long as needed. And afterwards, from my experience, it runs and they like the system, and they just don't care about also how they can implement the whole course, but they can change the files and whatever. And the students are no real problem, because the students are just coming to the university and say, hey, where's the system? And it is not a real task to them, and they have to use it because they really enjoy that they get all the materials from one place, which they didn't have different logins or whatever. So from the student side, we have very, very few problems.
Они решили эту проблему следующим образом. Был применен системный подход, системный анализ, системный подход. Система была разбита на мелкие части, которые решали какие-то индивидуальные, отдельные, определенные задачи. Какие-то из технических задач, скажем, при управлении образовательным процессом преподавателям нужно решать и должны это делать. Ну, а какие-то другие части, конечно, их непосредственно интересуют. Поэтому у преподавателей, значит, есть набор инструментов, которыми они умеют пользоваться, им легко ими пользоваться, интересно, и поэтому вот вопрос мотивации таким образом решается. Ну, а с точки зрения студентов у них никогда не стояла проблема мотивации использования каких-либо электронных систем в обучении или, неважно, в каких сферах других. Right, Martin, we have to move to other participants, and probably it's high time for us to say goodbye, unfortunately, but it has been really lovely to have you here and to listen to your talk, and we'll keep on discussing those interesting approaches to strategy and the ABC manager itself later at the coffee break and further on. As you see, we have initiated the contacts with the technical university, then back to December, and that is the second time we have some cooperation and collaboration work. And just little by little, using this system approach to build a good, systematic, long-standing collaboration, we'll figure out other ways for improvement. So thank you very much for your time. Please pass our best wishes to your family and the children who are waiting for you at the moment, 5 of them. Right. Good. So enjoy your day and hope we will be in touch soon.
Yeah, thank you again for your talk.
Thank you, Martin. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.